win on all levels, kind of.
I love it. It's nice to see how open and passionate you are, brother, about everything that you're doing. It's nice to observe, my friend.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Anyway, I'll shut up now and let you guys.
No, there is no shutting up here, like unless you want to, but like we just jam. There is no structure here.
Yeah, the only structure is that we trust in the structure.
Yeah, that gonna show up what needs to show up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. I
You
bought
know,
a set of pencils to myself today. Oh, it doesn't show me. Let me see. Here we are. Yay! Happy. Looking forward to sketch the
are
rocket or
those?
something.
You show them again, please.
What's
You
that?
show them again, please. I didn't really
Yeah.
get a good look. They look Japanese. Oh, that look good.
Yeah, it's all kind of times from 3B to 2H, and I need to figure out what that means. So one is harder, another is more, just felt calling to buy them.
Drawing, brother. Drawing, creating the art. I love it.
Yeah.
How are you, Mart? Mart.
I'm doing all right. Getting ready. Very excited about one thing. Very intrigued by some game that the both of us played together that had a recent update. That's pretty funky.
Yep.
Very
What kind of
enjoyable.
game are you playing?
We together play Overwatch.
I have never heard about it.
Well, I don't even know how to describe it myself, other than it's one of those games younger people play that you shoot shit, you have abilities, and it could be, you got great fun.
It's funky.
Turn your brain off, have some fun, have some laughs. Which is also important.
I was listening to Elon Musk talking about him playing. I think he plays a lot of Doom. No, what's the name?
Diablo,
and he is in the top 20 in the world on Diablo. So he used that game as a meditation to completely be present, because like you have to be present to be on that level. That's how he says.
I also know that is how various company secrets have leaked over the years. Elon Musk being a voice chat on Diablo.
What does that mean? Like voice?
Do you remember a few weeks ago when the ITF 5 launch called the booster for the first time?
No, I don't.
SpaceX is the company of Elon Musk that does all the rocket stuff, right? And they called one of the boosters. As it turns out, they were about 1 second away from aborting that mission. We only found this out because Elon Musk was talking about this in Diablo with some people on voice chat.
He's just a cool nerd. Like, it's very interesting how he made it all this way. It's just so amazing. Being himself, not changing a thing. Is like, I am this universal child, and I'm gonna do the fuck I want, and I'm gonna create fucking whatever I want. Such an inspiration.
So I have yet to hear a lot about what you guys do. I'm very interested to hear about you, Eric, and you, Sigitas. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah. Do you want to go, Eric?
Go ahead, brother. You go first.
So the question was, what do I do? I'm right now, in fact, most of the time I'm focusing on just being and doing whatever is in front of me. So searching the opportunities and how can I add value wherever I go. So I just returned back to Lithuania after traveling for like 20 years or 15, somewhere there, and connecting with my roots now, like with the family, visiting, people I know, and just like reconnecting and reestablishing my presence here. Hanging out most of the time with my dog, dreaming about rockets, building rockets, like something. Here we go. It's not, this one is not my build, but this one is just my, like, this is one of the, it's crafting from wood.
Interesting.
And also, like, I have built some rockets with a lot of other people. Like, I'm a burner, so from Burning Man community. So we build structures and we celebrate them, and we build a few rockets. We built one big and 11 meters tall in Lithuania, and then we burned that one, and we have another one parked in the mountains, on the top of the mountain in Portugal. So yeah, like jamming, playing. I'm also collaborating with Eric and other people, like as a visionary counselor. So I have a vast experience in life when it comes to entrepreneurship. I've been pretty much entrepreneur since the day I came here. I just keep them now. When I return back to Lithuania, I start remembering how entrepreneurial I was from childhood. Like I used to trade everything what's possible to trade, collect all kind of collectibles, and like it's such an interesting trip to return and remember the past and bring it to the now, and yeah, like there is something in, like, I don't know, like it seems like there's something I'm good at. It's noticing opportunities, and so that's what I'm focusing on around driving or walking around the place I grew up, and like scouting for opportunities just for my own internal game, like what have changed and what people don't see anymore, because I've been so much outside. So I have this vision of the completely different vision than people are inside in the trenches. So yeah, it's pretty interesting for me, to have this privilege of living the way I want and doing what I want, and having abundance of time to live, to support people on all levels in all areas I just can. So I'm just like adding value wherever I feel called, and some people run organizations, so I step in as a visionary counselor to be, I would say, as just like the extra pair of eyes. Maybe Eric can touch on that better, how he experiencing me being in that organization and holding that. But yeah, using my all wisdom outwards now, just like sharing all. And also I'm a very big passionate about Bitcoin, which I feel is also like a nerdy nerds circle. It's a very interesting one. It's a deep rabbit hole if one goes in. So yeah, I'm on that game as well. Yeah, that's about me.
I love how you talk with passion of your entrepreneurial spirit in your youth.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's like I used to yeah, like just remembering stuff, but I used to grow strawberries, raspberries, multiply them, and then go into market and sell. Like I had growing rabbits in my basement here where I live, in apartment compound kind of. I used to multiply rabbits. I had a steel how to say, like shop where I would buy steel from people, metal, and I would bring it back in the bigger quantities, and I sell it. I used to sell. I used to go in town and bring here like explosives, for children, chewing gums. I used to bake bread. It was just fucking nuts, like how much I went through. And on top of that, I had a successful, and I still have a successful business in Sweden with constructions. Since then, like in Sweden, I stopped my entrepreneurial kind of path, it seems like I like it became boring for me in some way. So it's kind of like I got enough of that. So but entrepreneurial spirit is there for sure. It's like it's cool. There is something cool there. I'm glad you noticed. Here I am, Eric.
What about you, Eric?
Well, I would agree with Sigita specifically about the doing versus the being. So we are definitely here being ourselves, and the doing is by really following and integrating our heart's intention. So really coming from this place of extreme gratitude for the moment, but also fundamentally operating from that place of being led from our heart, not from our head. And we've been able to play on this amazing ground. Again, also travel. I'm a big student of life. For me, learning and doing, meaning implementing the teachings, not just reading about them, has been a real big experience and importance for me, so that it's not just cognitive, it's also physical. Because this is what I believe creates ultimate wisdom, is when we go through the experience of life and we really dance and play and allows us, belief is a poor substitute for an experience. It's an experience. It's who you are. It's who you've become. And for me, I don't have beliefs. I have experiences. So I just make it happen, and I move forward with that level of congruence. And I have ultimate faith. So I operate from that place, because I know that we're here for something so much greater than ourselves. And so I choose to be what I believe in.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of trust in that, that I'm discovering, that when the more that I can trust myself, the more that I can just sit in my own nature and um, attract what's possible, attract what's necessary, attract true congruence. And it doesn't mean that I don't go to my head and have fear, which is why we have the magic of Sigita's always supporting, because this is also the component of really operating as a visionary counselor, is he's able to observe the pieces of when the mind comes back into space and bring me specifically back into my heart really fast. So this is an amazing mirror to have available always for me. No matter what, he's got my back, and he has for almost 6 years now. So we continue to fly together, and we continue to move together, and he doesn't back down. He's right next to me no matter what. So without this man, I'm not sitting here. So to me, this is so important. And fundamentally, for me, it's about integrating this conscious awareness into the physical form. So how are we doing that in business? Because business needs to be redefined. There needs to be a change in the language, in the way that we choose to operate in conscious entrepreneurship. So, talking about entrepreneurship, how can we consciously do it in a way that integrates that from an energy space, from a capital perspective, and from a labor identification? So really harmonizing energy, capital, and labor to bring together a conscious economic ecosystem that fundamentally enhances our environment, changes and creates a monetary equality, and supports communities, so that this type of advocacy can continue to thrive off of a circular economy.
Mm-hmm. So you're really big into the human aspect of it all, then?
Yeah, well, true economics is human action, right?
Mm-hmm.
The principle of economics is really integrating human action. So when we understand that the human is the actual infinite value, human capital, I mean, there's 5 dimensions of capital. The first 4 are qualitative and the last one is quantitative. And so if we break that down, we discover that the human capital, the intellectual capital, the social capital, and the spiritual capital fundamentally bringing that all together creates the financial capital. So for me, it's about understanding that quality, that 80% psychology is what's going to build that 20% mechanics, and that's what's going to ground all the intelligence into the physical space. And if somebody's only operating from their intellect, they're missing a whole beam or a whole spectrum of awareness, because they're not operating from social or human or spiritual, which or if they're focusing only on their intellect and financial, then they're missing 60%. And this is something that Sagitas and I have been able to pay attention to. And the more that we operate and the more that we move forward into these different verticals or different ecosystems, we discover how much we're breaking through the layers, and we're consistently moving forward in terms of faith. And so the game is infinite, which is who we are. We're all infinite beings, but fundamentally we have to stick together. We can't push anybody away. It doesn't mean that people don't choose to walk away, by the way, because lots do. It's very difficult to face a mirror. However, if they choose to stay, we embrace them and we bring them closer and we love them and we help them grow. But if they choose to walk away, that's also okay. We have no it's unconditional, right? What do you say, Zagitas? You cannot not be on the mission.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Like literally, like it's just impossible. Like how can we be not on a mission? It's like, I don't know that. I don't remember that. It's always a play. It's always the game is on.
Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. I know that's very long-winded, but really, essentially, it's if we want to talk in layman, it's private equity, it's the energy sector, it's really people and acquisitions, M&A.
Layman term. Business as usual. No,
what
I would like to add to all this, and what Eric was talking about, organizations, and maybe like to make it more explicit. It's like really bridging the future with the past, technology with like known kind of ways of organizing ourselves. So like we are in that kind of bridging a new way of operating from the future, which is based, in my reality, is more like based on Bitcoin, is transparency, is decentralized, and bridging those to connecting with all type of organizations, and see how can we like structure so the future is not limited, but from the presence, how do we move forward into that sovereignty, into that decentralized future? Like this is my passion in all, like supporting Eric with creating organizations for energy sector and Bitcoin mining, and yeah.
That has personally been one of my big problems with crypto. I have problems with crypto. It has potential, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those big crypto negative Nancy's, but I
here's
have
the thing
problems with the industry. Energy is a big one for me.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we have to get clear on is our language. And so whenever we say crypto, we're fundamentally missing the true language, because crypto is usually, especially in the Bitcoin world, related to all of the other shit coins or alternative coins.
I was mainly talking about Ethereum in this case.
Yeah, sure. So this is what I'm saying. So yes, there's that one and many more. However, the reason that we don't use cryptocurrency as our language or crypto as our language is because we're only focused on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the one that creates the separation and ultimately defines a divine economy.
educate me, please. Why would there be a big difference in between other coins and Bitcoin? Because I believe Bitcoin still uses a proof of doesn't use proof of stake like Ethereum, so it is still quite energy intensive, isn't it?
It's so good that you go on that immediately. It's because that's the difference. That's what makes Bitcoin not crypto. That's a proof of work.
But oh wait, so Bitcoin also already uses proof of stake then, not proof of work?
No, there is no such thing as a proof of stake. Proof of stake it's a noise that over 30,000 shitcoins are kind of trying to figure it out and play under, like to create something that does not have any value, anything, just like another, like the way I can see like the rest of the 30,000 whatever is coins or crypto coins is based in nothing. If that makes sense. So let's say
most of them are fiat.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. And one of the things, so proof of work, it's interesting because proof of work is like pow, yeah, and proof of stake is like POS, like piece of shit, yeah, wow. Anyways, but really fundamentally, whenever we look at any POS or proof of stake coins, we have to remember that if there's a CEO associated to your token or associated to your coin, then ultimately it's going to zero. Because if 70% of the stakeholders own most of the coins, then that's no different than a central bank. And it's the same bullshit that the Federal Reserve or any central bank fiduciary system has been created. It's not decentralized, it's not scalable, and it's not secure. And this is what we call the Bitcoin trilemma.
Most of those fiat systems are like, if I like I ask this question to people that I meet who is in financing or whatever, and it's like the simple question: how many euros do we have in to play with as a collective? What is the number of euros are that we are all playing with? The total cap, and nobody knows.
You can't say that.
Nobody knows it. That's the point. So how do we measure value with something that is complete fiction? It's kind of nuts. It's like, I like this how to say metaphor. So it's like, it's the same like you would build a house with constantly changing centimeters, like it's not static. It's like constant. It could be 1 centimeter could be like this one day, and then suddenly you wake up and that's the new centimeter, and like it's constantly fluctuating. So yeah, it's interesting how questions. I think they can share what they can have a conversation deeper.
One of the things I've personally never really understood, and why I personally at this point do not believe that Bitcoin or any crypto would be a viable alternative to fiscal policy, would be the volatility of it. I don't know if over the course of time, when pretty much the well will run dry on Bitcoin one day. I don't know what the current projections are. I thought they were around 2050.
Can I share you the secret right there that not many get, and it takes years of studying to get that? 1 Bitcoin is always equal 1 Bitcoin.
Well, yeah.
Because we have this is like, and you are the gamers, so you should you should get that, because once we know the total amount of total supply ever is going to be available for all of us to share, now we know how much it is, where with any kind of other currency we don't know, and we don't know how many more is going to be printed. So now it's a scarcity game, and I assume you have played as well. If you have,
I own some. I don't own full Bitcoin, but I own some crypto still. Not that much. For me, it's a speculative investment. It isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like this is perfect. Like, this is where you are, and like you know, like the time will show the only thing, right? So it's like we're gonna see what's going on, and you know, it's also what is cool that Bitcoin is the only decentralized currency that we can own as a people. And you know, us running nodes, us running mining machines, that's how we own. That's how nobody can shut it down, nobody can take it away from us. And that's what keeps it alive. And it's incentivized to stay alive forever, which means this is going to be a black hole that is going to suck everything else in the world. The more we're going to print, the more Bitcoin value is going to go up, because like there is so many plebs, people, you know, in Bitcoin community that we're never going to sell. Or we're going to sell like when we need, but not for selling purposes, not for making money purposes.
I have a question. What makes you think that it's a speculative investment?
To me, it's a speculative investment.
Right, but what makes you think that? And with the volatility, okay, actually, do you mind answering that question first?
I am very comfortable with risk. The only reason why I'm here today is because I am comfortable with risk. A bit about myself. I started a company on a gamble because I had to. I come from a pretty poor family. If I wanted to have any sort of clothes next to the one I had outgrown, I needed to make some kind of money. So every little bit of entrepreneurship I did was on a risk because I needed it now. This made me very comfortable with risk, and such my portfolio of stocks and crypto is next to like my retirement fund. It's very risky. Crypto is actually perfect for this. I made a lot of money on Dogecoin. It was a shitcoin. It was a meme. Nobody took that seriously, but I made a lot of money on it. Same with Ethereum. Bitcoin to me is, I have personally seen no evidence to the contrary that for the coming 5 to 10 years, Bitcoin will be anything but a way to park your money where it will go up or down. Same with any stock. I would like to be shown evidence to the contrary. I think there is some application to blockchain, and there is some application to crypto, especially with the way the economy has been going. But it's made me money. That's why. Now, granted, it hasn't made me a lot of money because it went down when I sold it. But yeah.
So would you agree that money is energy?
I believe money is what we make of it. Money is thought, money is an illusion. We do not need money, but it is the way we transfer goods and services.
Cool. So I'm hearing energy. Do you?
Sure. Difference of vision, I think, but sure, let's say it is.
Okay, so what if there's a way to capture the energy of our planet and turn it into a stored asset class that can be used and exchanged as a medium of exchange?
I'd call that money.
Interesting. So is that true money then? Or is that fiat money? So meaning, is that hard money or is that fiat to you? Do you know the difference?
To me, I have very strong opinions on this actually. To me, if anything isn't backed by anything physical, something I can hold and touch, it's fiat. So gold standard oil dollar was I think the petrodollar for a time was held as a de facto way of pegging the dollar. Or if it isn't held against another currency, which is a hard currency, I consider it a fiat currency. That way, I may not be educated enough on Bitcoin, but I believe it is only it's just fiat. It's traded, and the worth of the coin or token or whatever it's called nowadays It's just what the market makes it, doesn't it? Or am I wrong in this?
Yeah, so this is false, because if we're holding a stored energy, which, where does it come from? How does the time chain actually create a block reward? It's based off of energy, which is power and electricity, that comes from miners
Fair enough.
that are then put into into the market, right? In somebody's wallet or into a node. Does this make sense?
So, yeah, no. So then we actually be going back to a sort of petrodollar idea, where the amount of energy you get out of well, nowadays oil mainly, but could be nuclear fusion, whatever, in a few years.
Right. So if that is backed as a hard money asset, that is backed by true energy, which is the energy, like you just said, either oil, gas, power, natural resource.
Yeah. So then you'd be looking at a joule or gigawatt hour value to each Bitcoin, looking at how much power that took, and then putting a worth on that. I actually never looked at it that way.
Yes. So this is now the emphasis of being able to capture the energy of whether it's oil, natural gas, wind, fossil fuels, inefficiencies, and capture that energy and turn it into power and electricity, to then take that power and electricity and mine Bitcoin. And now you're creating a real hard money asset.
Genuinely had not thought of it that way. That's a very interesting take.
Right. So this is what our organization does, and really focusing on bridging that all together from the energy companies and the energy sectors, so that we can then integrate it into a power electrical infrastructure that can then use it for peak power, or we can then integrate it into power for Bitcoin mines. And then from the heat, we can capture the heat from the turbines and the Bitcoin mines that then go into greenhouses to create food security and food sovereignty for the people. And now the volatility changes, because it doesn't matter the price of Bitcoin. What matters is actually the energy that's backing it.
And also matters the nature of Bitcoin, because it has a total cap. It's a known game. It's like, it's very easy. If you read nine page of white paper, it's kind of gonna start making sense more, and it's it's very simple. So imagine this is what we were talking about now. It's like, now we have a clear rules of the game for the whole world, which has never been possible until Bitcoin was discovered and launched. So now it pulls out from everyone transparency, it pulls out from everyone honesty, where we don't try to manipulate each other, because we have something, currency, that is true, that is transparent, that we can see, and it's kind of like an organism that is going to move by itself because of those incentive energy conversion. It's going to drive humanity into future, where we're going to unlock energy from so many sources that has never been available to unlock through this using the technology of Bitcoin, which is how I see.
So now I'm curious, have you guys ever looked into if power is a problem, we've got enough power, we've got a bloody sun. Have you guys ever looked into power satellites? Launches are getting very cheap with SpaceX and Starship. Grab a giant solar panel array, put it on a satellite, put a miner on that thing, pure radiators, put it in space.
I heard about it. I heard about somebody did that from Australia, but that's only from another Bitcoiner. I haven't verified the source or anything. So, but I heard that there is people already figuring that out.
Yeah. Civitas, you said you were in construction, right? Like you
I
have a
used to
construction
be.
company. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're no longer in that space.
As a visionary counselor only there.
All right.
I'm having like a board meetings with the people who are running the company.
There's a guy I know, Fernando. He works at a company called 3D Potter. It's Stuart, Florida. It's right above Miami. They make concrete printers, which are, I was going to say, if you still do like consult for construction companies, I do not know if I have his contact information, but I could get it for you. I
That's
worked with a
interesting. Why
company
not?
for a few weeks. I hands-on. I assembled one of their printers. If you look at other competitors, they're about 2 times as cheap, and all the parts are off the shelf, so you could repair the damn thing with a hammer and a wrench.
Mm-hmm.
I
Cool.
know. I
please,
did.
please show me that. I'm curious. Yeah. There's always, as you see, there's always opportunities. There's always going to be. So it's cool.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat here.
Yes,
Is there
please.
a chat? Yes, there is. Donk.
Are you going to drop here? Okay, so let me just take it from there.
I don't have your number.
Yeah. Well, maybe you and the
Are
group.
you in the group already?
Lighthouse.
No, I haven't been added. But Mark has my phone number, I believe. Yep, I am now.
Do you mind adding him?
No,
I have been added.
Oh man, and it's also with Clay. I love it because I am involved with some people in Sri Lanka that is specifically focused only on bamboo and clay. So this is very, very profound information what you just shared. Thank you very much.
Their head guy, Fernando, he used to work at Eton as their COO. I forgot it was CFO, COO, and used to work at Lamborghini as high in operations. I don't remember if he was chief, but he was high in the operations ladder. He is a visionary guy, actually pretty similar to you guys, I'd say.
And he worked at Lamborghini?
He worked at Lamborghini, if I remember correctly. Lamborghini. That's the one under Volkswagen, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know him well?
I have spoken to him for a week. I don't know him well. It was a business relationship. I was there with a Flemish company to help them get into the concrete space of 3D printing. However, I think I could get his contact information. And I believe you should be able to reach him from the support things on his site. I would not imagine it'd be that hard to get information from him.
I think it would be the way that, if you haven't met him already, then I'd be interested in a warm introduction. But
I don't know if he has the time.
Yeah, well,
I mean, for like this.
The universe. Well, it doesn't need to be like this. It could be in private. But
fair enough.
We could organize it. But if it's something that resonates to you and is coming up for a reason, especially if he's a visionary guy, that understands the importance of innovation and integration and teamwork, then and it feels right for you, please, I would love us to warmly create that. If it doesn't feel aligned for you, there's no expectation here.
I'll see what I can do.
But yeah, it's only if it feels called, right?
I'll see what I can do. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a few months, so I'd love to get back to him. He was it's a Brazilian guy. He works for companies there, eventually moved to the US. He's still, I believe, on the board of directors at Eton, but like semi-retired. Started a 3D printing company in concrete and clay because he wanted to make the world better.
Yeah, so this is a person that would be very much, sounds like, from my perspective, in alignment with our mission. But this is why it's important, to meet with a warm connection versus me reaching out or things like this, I would like for you to be involved in that, because I think that teamwork is really the way we operate, and by us winning, we all win together. And then you get to win with us and be a part of this merging ecosystem where we amplify and help the future forward.
I'll see what I can do.
Cool. Thank you. You're a gentleman. I appreciate your kindness and wisdom, my friend.
I wouldn't call it wisdom.
It's all wisdom. It's all wisdom when we're speaking from experience.
You know what has bothered me recently? So I'm only 21, right? I'm a fairly young guy. I talked about this with Mart recently, yesterday actually. I am the only person in my social circle, which is quite big, next to one guy who has done any sort of entrepreneurship, any sort of starting a company, any sort of work outside of, the standard supermarket jobs, working as a waiter. I fully believe this generation has been spoiled, and not a lot of them seek out wisdom or seek out to sate that entrepreneurial spirit that I believe every human has. The drive to create an empire. It's missing in a lot of young people. Bothers me. I don't know if you people have also felt this.
But it is also, I feel there is a new wave of consciousness piercing through, where not everybody is designed to focus on that, creating an empireship. I feel the new generation is the as you say, like, the younger generation is it's kind of, I feel, more pushed by nature towards being a craftsmanship rather than focusing on entrepreneurship. I think it's our generation, it was more pushed towards entrepreneurship, and the new generation is focused very nichey, so it's like following their passion or following their heart, and it not necessarily has to be entrepreneurial approach.
So
Does
what
that
I'm
make
hearing,
sense?
yes, it does. And what I'm hearing, Sagitas, is that from your map of the world, because we also attract a lot of this type of energy, we attract a lot of people that are tapping into that curation of their heart's energy. And perhaps, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ihan, is it Johan or Ihan?
It's whatever. My real name is, all right. So a bit of explanation. My father is a Turkish man. Yeah. I do not have good relationships with him. He was fairly stereotypical, heavily Islamic. I'm in the process of changing my name to Johan, for several reasons. One of them is there's still a lot of discrimination, especially if you get to choose between Johan or Ilhan. You go for the white sounding name. It's not the world I want to live in, but it is the world we live in, and we need to accept that. And I want to get rid of most of the association I have with my father. So Johan is what I tend to call myself and what my friends call me, and you are now my friends. Johan is the name that is on my ID and passport.
I just want to, first of all, acknowledge your vulnerability. That's really beautiful that you're sharing in such an open way. The expression of kind of the things that you saw that from the past, you chose to break the pattern of that type of misappropriated patriarchal misrepresentation of how we get to operate, and you stepped into your natural true being. and we don't need to accept anything. The one thing that I want to, we don't need to accept what has happened or any things. We get to change it. So this is also our responsibility, which is one of the things that you're doing. And you don't need to do it by, I believe, this is my perspective. You don't need to do it by changing anything if you don't want to. Meaning the language. However, the only thing that you need to do is to really just honor whichever trust in you have in yourself and the way that you choose to operate. So one of the things I just want to highlight with regards to your experience or map of the world is that my hallucination is that when you're react or reflecting or recognizing the mirror of the people that are around you, I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it's my hallucination, that you are surrounded by people that are not stepping into their heart, that they're operating from a place of victim or comfort, or maybe even blame, versus owning their natural state or standards of trusting in themselves, like you have.
I wouldn't even say that. I'd say complacency.
Okay.
I say they are fully complacent and fully comfortable with a world and a personal experience that could be better. A lot of young people, I don't know if you have, I'm sure you have experienced this, but a lot of young people, they go to college, they maybe have a job and they party, and that's kind of their life.
Yeah,
they
so
very little have a passion, very little have very little actually do anything worth their time, I believe.
So this is one of the things that Sagitas is talking about is we find specifically, especially in our circle here, that we attract a lot of people that are actually quite the contrary. And so which is what we're attracting. So we're really excited to be able to attract more of this energy. And that means, again, from what I'm hearing, is that we get to step into more of these, because you're seeing things from a different perspective, and because you're around that, we can appreciate and understand that. And we also see a different perspective because we attract a lot of different types of youth. So now, how do we create more of this amalgamation of changing or influencing to the best of our abilities with compassion and understanding that there is an even bigger approach. So I know there's lots there, but we only have a minute left.
That time flew.
I know, it went really flew.
But yeah, like just to mention, we have on Fridays youth coming in, so please join. You're gonna see the magic and people of magic and some inspiration and youth. I feel just to what you were touching, Johan, that I feel is the shortage of inspiration for them. You know, it's not inspiring to go and sell the time and then pay the taxes. That's kind of like, it's not incentivizing anyone to move.
Yeah, I get that. I think it's a bit more cultural big scale, but I get that.
Yeah. It was
it's been
amazing to meet you, brother. You're really very, very, very grateful for your time and presence. Mark, thank you for bringing such an amazing person into the family, and thank you for being here, brother. We look forward to spending more time with you and connecting.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
And keep being amazing.
I will try to get back to you on Fernando. I am not making any promises, but I have his number. I have his number somewhere. I just need to look for it.
No expectations, brother. No expectations, man.
Much love.